What's up everyone, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and it's finally time for another episode of Rapid Reviews, the series where I put 60 seconds on the clock and in that amount of time or less, emphasis on the or less because I'm going to try to focus more on that, making myself more concise in this already concise series. I will tear through my thoughts on new singles, EPs, and albums. And today we've got a lot to get through because I've been sick for a couple of weeks on and off. I kept putting this off and I'm sorry for the delay, but we've got 15 new songs, EPs, and albums to get through. So we're gonna get to it. I do hope that you enjoy this episode. A lot of these were viewer requested. If you have others that you'd like to see me tackle in the future that maybe I didn't give a full-length review to, then sound off in the comments and upvote some of the ones that you want to see the most. Drop a like on this video because YouTube unfortunately doesn't promote this show all that much in the recommended simply because it's hard to fit everything into the title that it actually holds, so a like goes a long way. Subscribe for the love of music, and here we go. The UK pop punk lads Neck Deep have dropped a new single called She's a God. Their popularity has really been skyrocketing in recent years, I feel like. And this new single is pretty fun musically. I mean, it's got some hammering drums on it. It's nice to see that they're continuing in a rockier direction and not just going full on pop or anything. And here they're embracing a partner, of course, their lead vocalist Ben. And this song is clearly for her and for all of the other ladies out there, the partner that you worship as somebody basically being God tier. The lyrics are pretty corny, honestly. I find some of the adjectives that are used to describe this woman to be a little silly, but I suppose it's meant to be. In a way, musically the song is fun. I'm giving it a 3. Adam Gontier is back and he's with his project Saint ASONIA. They've got the lead single from their upcoming album out. It features Sully Erna, the guitarist from Godsmack, and the song is called The Hunted, and it really wowed me. This song does pretty much everything right. It's really got these great hooks. It sinks its fangs into you, but also the guitar work, Adam's vocals, it's some of his best work that he's laid down in years. That is saying something. He himself said that it's his best work since 1X, and I am inclined to believe him after hearing this phenomenal track. Please go show this some love. It absolutely deserves it. A 4.5 from me. All right, you can stop storming the gates, or should I say the barriers, because I'm finally reviewing the Frank IERO and the Future Violence project, known as Barriers. This album came out at the tail end of May, and I didn't quite get to a review of that, I apologize. But honestly, I haven't been enjoying this album like I did, say, Parachutes, for example. It's different. Frank just has some unique, let's call it, vocal stylings on this record. He's kind of freelancing here. There's some decent songs on the album, some ones that I'm going to continue to come back to. There's a lot of hard-hitting guitars. I loved the lead single, Young and Doomed, and there were other tracks like Police on the album that I did continue to come back to. I just failed to find it that engaging vocally, which is kind of a big thing for me, and with Frank, it just seems like he's wailing at times. Overall, I'm going to give this one a cautious but also strong 3 out of 5. If you're looking for some really strong metalcore meets new metal as the band has continued to evolve, then I'd highly recommend the Australian band Northlane's new record, Alien. This has some hard-hitting, gripping tunes that occasionally remind me of Linkin Park. It's pretty much inevitable. You can see where their influences are coming from, but it's also made into a relatively concise listen that is just a good playthrough. There aren't necessarily bad apples that stick out from the bunch, but there are a few glaring production issues, I would say, at least on some of the tracks where the mixing feels off. It's nothing insane or anything that totally throws off the enjoyability for me. I'm giving this one a 3.5. Definitely check it out. Scene Gods Sleeping with Sirens have returned with new music and they're no longer poppy. Yay! Oh my goodness, just what I asked for Christmas this year. I also apparently asked for Kellin Quinn as a blonde and that has happened. And we have this awful artwork for the upcoming album. I mean, a candle wick and a head. Okay, doesn't matter, I suppose. What's the music sounding like? Well, Leave It All Behind is honestly not that bad. It's a pretty good lead single, in fact. It has some driving guitars. The dominating vocal presence, I suppose, is something that I had missed in some way from Sleeping with Sirens. I don't think they're ever going to get back to the quality of Let's Cheers to this, but I digress. The second single that I've heard so far is Agree to Disagree, and wow, oh wow, the lyrics on this song are fucking trash. It sounds like a child arguing with a brother that's crossing lines. You're on my side of the room. Overall for me, Leave It All Behind gets a 3 and a 1.5 for that second single. The Irish band Two Door Cinema Club have returned with their fourth studio album titled False Alarm, and it's actually really damn good. I didn't give this record enough of a chance at first, and I'm glad that I took my time when coming around to it. I slowly warmed up, but now I'm seeing this as some of the best indie rock and alternative that I've heard all year long. It's thoroughly engaging. I love the thumping bass that's so prominent in the mix on many of the songs, and also the 80s inclinations. This record is smart, it's sensible, it's light on its feet, it has some really eclectic guests, but more importantly, it's fun to listen to. I love the singles like Talk, Satellite. The chorus not so great, but the rest of the song, yeah, absolutely. So Many People, Break, Dirty Air, even the closer, which really gets that falsetto range going on Already Gone. Please check out this album. It really won me over after a few listens, and I'm giving this a very strong 4 out of 5. What? Oh, Summer Girl by HAIM. Yeah, HAIM put out a new song, and for a summery song like this, it sure is boring as hell and completely forgettable. It's consequenceless, too. Time to wake back up for the charismatic lead single from Alter Bridge's upcoming album, which I am very excited for. Wouldn't You Rather? Alter Bridge are incredibly consistent. I love not only Miles Kennedy, of course, on vocals, but Mark Tremonti. His guitar riffs really add new life to this track in particular. Also, the vocals, I mean, what do you expect? It's obviously going to be really solid, and I do feel that this one is one of their more top-tier type songs, a great single choice. I think I've been coming back to this one mainly because it's easy to keep in rotation. Maybe it's not their best work to date or anything, but still, I'm impressed enough to be excited for the upcoming album, and I hope that you guys are too. If you're into rock or harder rock type stuff, Alter Bridge are one of the great bands of the 21st century in that department. This song gets a 4. They're no longer with Interscope Records, so it seems like now that they're with Epitaph, hopefully an album is finally coming, because that hasn't happened since 2012. Getting to the 3 songs on this single or EP, whatever, we have the title track, Send Her to Heaven, also Gen Y, DGAF, like Don't Give a Fuck, and also Demons, more of a slower acoustic song. I'll start by saying that Demons is rather forgettable, although I guess it's sweet enough with the sentiments that it tries to display. I cannot stand and cannot fathom why Gen Y was thought as a good idea. That song is incredibly irritating, and they wanted that to be the lead single. I can see why the major label fought them on that. And also Send Her to Heaven, one of my favorite Reject songs to date, so this EP is all over the place in terms of quality. I'll give it a 3. PVRIS, aka Paris, are back with new material. A new single is out in the form of Death of Me. Hopefully that means an album is imminent. Apparently some people were complaining about this being too poppy. Lynn Gunn, their vocalist, was responding to some people about that, I heard. And also, I mean, Paris, they've always been relatively poppy, a little bit electronic inclined, but Death of Me is awesome. It just has this racing sensation. It feels anthemic without trying too hard. So I'm loving it pretty much overall. I'll give it a 4. Oops, I completely forgot to film one of these, and it was for the new TEGAN and SARA song called I'll Be Back Someday. And you know what? This is the perfect, end of summer, very nostalgic feeling with fizzing synthesizers and also great guitars type of song to take you back. I love this track. I've been playing through it and it's just such a breeze. I'm excited to hear their album this fall. I'm giving this a 4.5. The new album, A Bath Full of Ecstasy by the alternative dance and synth-pop group from England, Hot Chip, is pretty exciting. I honestly didn't have this one on my radar at first, although I've definitely enjoyed some Hot Chip music over the years. I know this maybe is a little bit more surprising in terms of me actually covering it, but yeah, I really dug this thing. There's some fantastic songs on here like Spell. The closing moment, No God, definitely got to me in a very good way. Hungry Child, Echo. It's definitely an album that feels exuberant and it embraces pop. It has the melodies, but it also goes intricate, so it doesn't feel necessarily mainstream. It definitely gets a recommendation from me, so if you're into dance or electronic music at all, give it a go, because I think this album is gold for what it is, although it has its imperfections. Another 4. Wow, I'm wearing a Radiohead shirt while reviewing the new Katy Perry single. I'm sure there's some sense of irony there that I'm completely missing, but Small Talk is the new song following up Never Really Over, which I actually thought was a really good pop song, something infectious that we just needed. We needed that pop smash for the summer, and unfortunately, it hasn't been as successful as I hoped it would have been. But again, her star power has faded a bit. Anyways, Small Talk is out, and this one just feels a little bit more like blah, 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 inconsequential. Don't really care about all of that much. I mean, it's kind of catchy, but it's also a little bit childish. Feeling a generous 2.5. To put the finishing touch on this episode of Rapid Reviews, let's close out by talking about the new single from the part 2 of Everything Not Saved Will Be Lost by the British band FOALS. Black Bull is the name of the track, and this is an aggressive tune. I'm loving the pummeling feeling that I'm getting. The vocals are really incredible. I love how Giannis comes across on this one. I think that this record is going to be great. I've been going back to part 1. Honestly, I know I maybe didn't give it the most positive rating in the world, but still, there's something about a good amount of those tracks that just have a pull to them, and Black Bull has that once again. They're in a creative stride. I give this one a 4. Alrighty then, that's it for this episode of Rapid Reviews. Please drop a like on this video if you did enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts on any of my thoughts that I gave on any of these songs, EPs, or albums in the comment section down below. And of course, if you have a request that you'd like to see me do in a future episode of this show, then sound out below. I'd like to thank some of my $50 a month patrons, including 3RS, Josh Lincoln, Brandon Barenfeld, and Seth Koppisch. I appreciate them donating, and if you would like to help out the channel financially, then please hit the top link down below, or else the annotation in the corner. Catch up on more Rapid Reviews here, and other than that, I'll see you soon for more right here on ARTV.